Basically how auto detect editors work is it looks at the data type of the data that's coming into the grid and chooses an editor in which to give you to edit the data with. Now, there's a number of different editors that are loaded in by default. It's basically once you turn on editing on the grid, you have it automatically. But you can also override it as well. So you notice if I come in here and try to edit the ID, I have basically a numeric editor. I can't type in any text, but I can type in numbers. And then I have our standard text editor. And then with the last login date, it's by default a masked editor for dates, and it's just basically the text box with a masked editor. And so what I wanted to do was override it and allow me to choose a date from the date picker. So let's drop into Visual Studio and I'll show you how you can do it. So on this page here, basically I just have a grid, I have my script manager, a couple columns, pretty basic stuff for the grid. So what I want to do is come over here to Design View and I can go to Edit Behaviors. And when I turn on cell editing, this is really all I have to do in order to enable the automatic editors. So if we run this page, you can see that now I have my masked editor for the dates. Again, I can't type in just text, it has to be a true date value. Okay, here's my text editor, that's all good, and my numeric editor. Again, I'm typing text and nothing goes in there. So again, I didn't have to do anything to turn that on. But this just isn't exactly what I want, so we can come down back into the grid here. And what I want to do is edit the grid editor providers. And so let's add a date picker provider. And I'm just going to clean up this ID. We'll just call this date picker. So once I add that, now I can go back into the behaviors, and for cell editing, the column settings here, I can go into the collection and add an item here. So the editor ID that I'm looking at is the date picker, and the column key that I want to associate it to is the last login date. So I click Apply, OK, and OK. Now when I run it, all the automatic ones work just like they did before, but now I have the date picker. So there's a lot of flexibility. Basically, once I've done that, you can just go about your CRUD operations just like you would before. So there you go.
Infragistics. On the web at infragistics.com.